Aspirations and dedication of merit. I've been meditating for something like, I don't know, I hate to think about it, 40 years. And in that time I've come up with scores of reasons to put off until tomorrow the meditation session I just can't seem to find time to do today for whatever so-called good reasons I think I have. As busy as I am, I always seem to find time to rationalize away my meditation time. And what does this say about my meditation or about me? Well, it says kind of a lot. For one, it's never good for me to get on bad terms with my meditation practice such that it is easier for me to avoid it than to do it. Just what is it that I'm avoiding? And for me, the answer is all kinds of things. For example, some days when I approach my meditation cushion, it's time to sit, I seem to put on all kinds of baggage that I could avoid by just skipping meditation that day. Like, I don't know, many layers of arrogance that I can somehow manage one after another. For example, there's the person in me, the Michael, the dharma practitioner. I get really sick of him. And there is the I'm now going to meditate pose, or perhaps I don't want to review the high expectations that I have set for myself, and especially don't want to compare my last imprinted good meditation practice against how I feel at that moment today, or review my lack of any signs of progress in who knows how long, etc. The list goes on. These then are just a few reasons that it's somehow and sometimes easier to walk on by the door to my practice area than to just go on in, sit down and do the practice. In fact, almost anything is preferable to meditation, like taking out the trash, whenever I get in this frame of mind. And of course, this is just part of meditation, all of this, but I tend to forget that especially. In other words, when I get stingy with my practice, what is this a sign of? I could point out a lot of possible reasons, but the long and the short of it is that something has come between me and my original wish and reasons to practice, and what to do about that. The first thing is to stop adding insult to injury. It's bad enough that practicing dharma for me can at times drift into a stalemate or standoff situation. It's even worse if on top of that I feel bad about it. This only widens that division, that's feeling bad. There are things that I can do. I'm not suggesting you stop your formal sitting practice. No, not at all. But you may need to give it a break for a day. If I talk to myself as if I haven't already given it a break by just not doing it joyfully or consistently. It's hard to do any kind of practice joyfully. This too is just part of meditation practice. By give it a break here, I mean give it a rest. Let it go for today. But as I point out, usually I've already tried that. Meditation is all about learning to let the mind rest naturally. And if we've managed to get our practice into a bundle so that it's no longer restful or even neutral, then the least that we can do is to relax a bit and start over. Remember, when we are distracted or get distracted, we simply drop the distraction and gently bring the mind back to rest on the breath or the object. Same thing here. In this case, this includes not only allowing yourself not to meditate that day or to shorten your meditation, but also not holding this or any recent lapses against yourself. You've painted yourself into a corner, so take a break and start over, like with shamatha meditation. There are other forms of practice that might be easier to do at the moment. this whole delinquency thing, if you're being delinquent, is probably not new for any of us. If you're like me, you do it whenever you have exhausted your goodwill on any project and turn what was a good thing into just another something to avoid, delinquency. And on top of that, we nag ourselves. Sometimes I manage to avoid practice until the amount of it I do in a week amounts to something like only going to church on Sunday, 1 day a week's worth or less. I sure know this won't get me to heaven, or whatever we want to think of, anytime soon, as in just too little, too late. The goal is to make our entire life our practice, but how to get there? Sitting meditation, like on the cushion, is all about building the tools and the habits to do that. Some of us manage to screw up what we set out to do by micromanaging ourselves right out of the spirit of doing anything at all. I certainly do this. There is another approach, but it's off the cushion, or it's what's called post-meditational, so take note. I'm not suggesting that you stop your daily sitting practice, but rather augment it in ways that will enhance that practice. And this method has to do with gaps in our daily life that we can't avoid anyway. And in this technique, we just put those gaps to work. An example of a gap would be any event that distracts us from our normal distractions. Whatever we're doing at the moment. For example, let's say we're busy working away at something and we get disturbed. And we wake up from whatever we're doing. It could be that the doorbell or the phone rings, or a door slams, an alarm goes off, you name it. Life is filled with these events. And the point is that whenever and whatever the interruption, that interruption creates a gap in the otherwise smooth flowing of our routine, so that we have to pause, stop, and look around, even if it's for a split section or a short minute. These kinds of awareness gaps are perfect opportunities for quality Dharma practice. And here's what I do in those gaps. First, for starters, you can just rest in the gap for a moment. Enjoy the space, the interruption. You're already not doing what you were supposed to be doing, so take a mini break. Here you are, awakened and disturbed in the flow of your day from your workflow, and you're suddenly aware of that. This is an opportunity. Rest in that moment. By rest, I mean just relax and let yourself be there in that gap for a second. And the next part's very easy too. Before you resume whatever task you were just on, and the one that you were interrupted from, simply dedicate whatever merit you may have accumulated up to now doing whatever you're doing. However small amount of that merit may be, it doesn't matter. And dedicate that merit to benefit all sentient beings in some way. If you're a Buddhist, you can dedicate this merit to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, wherever they may be, that they may better assist all other sentient beings everywhere in finding true happiness and enlightenment. After that, just pick up your task and go on. It's as simple as that. And this is a form of Dharma practice, so you've done some today if you do that much. And the next time you're interrupted and you snap out of your concentration, do the same thing again. Use this natural gap, this sudden awareness that you have in the moment, to dedicate the merit of what you have done up until then. This kind of dedication is really actual practice. And we can fit it into even the busiest schedule. And the spontaneity of it precludes our gaming it like we tend to do with our daily sitting practice. It just happens too fast for that. One moment you're startled, aware, or awake, distracted from your normal work. And just in that moment, there you are awake. Use that moment to do a very small practice like dedicating the merit to all beings. Now, what's merit? Ideally, merit is something that you've managed to do to benefit not only yourself but all other beings. Something wholesome and good. When we're doing mundane business-like tasks, there may not be much of that merit present. Still, there's probably some teeny tiny bit of merit in whatever we do, so dedicate that. You don't even have to know what it is. You just say to yourself, whatever merit I have accomplished, however small, dedicate that to the welfare of all beings. That's enough. And if you can manage it, you can end the dedication of merit by making a simple ongoing aspiration to yourself that whatever you're about to do, like jump back into it, what you're going to continue to do, whatever merit may eventually be involved in the work you are doing, however small, may it be of some real use to benefit all sentient beings. Trust me, this very small effort on your part can bring great returns. I've been studying and practicing meditation for over, 40 years, something like that. During that time, I've read and studied many hundreds of books and taken literally many, many hundreds of teachings. In all of those books, in all of those teachings, the most profound secret that I have seen presented over and over again as a method for accumulating merit in your dharma practice is the aspiration we make before undertaking any work and the dedication of merit that we make after we finish a piece of work. And it's so easy to do. And we're interrupted anyway, and it only takes a few seconds to do it. So give it a try. Of course, this is especially true when it comes to actual dharma practice, like making an aspiration before a dharma practice session begins and a dedication after that practice. Dharma practice is the most worthy of all tasks that we might have, because if we can become more aware, we can better benefit the beings we encounter in life and ourselves in the bargain. However, unless we are openly doing something destructive, there has to be at least some merit in whatever else we are doing during our day, hopefully. Even if we have been destructive, the attempt to dedicate is meritorious itself. And when these natural gaps arise in our workflow when we're interrupted, dedicating even that tiny bit of merit is, well, meritorious, of course, especially if we dedicate it to the well-being and enlightenment of all sentient beings. This kind of aspiration and dedication practice takes only a few seconds here and there, and it occurs only when we are forced to take a momentary break in our workflow anyway, as in, we wake up from whatever we are doing for just a moment. In that moment, we are free to make this dedication and aspiration almost effortlessly.